Hello, good evening, and welcome to another stream of EU4. The new expansion is out, but I'm still not sure what I'm gonna play next, so I decided to continue commenting my 1538 World Conquest. So this is part 2 of said World Conquest. I don't know if I'm gonna keep doing this, but at least today, for the next couple of hours, I'll be commenting it. Unless, of course, I end up talking to myself, in which case I'll probably just stop. Alright. So this is continuation where we left off. I've just declared war on that Chinese miner that I released. The goal for that war is to vassalize him. I want to have as quickly as possible. I mean, it's not a top priority, but it has high priority, even though it's not something really important. But it's something that I must end up doing as fast as I possibly can. Without, I mean, it's, how can I say it? So priority goes to conquer land, of course, but then on the sideline I need to grab 5 vassals as quickly as I possibly can. So that's what I'm trying to do there. The reason why I need the 5 vassals is because I want to fire the Golden Age as soon as possible. Let me check something. Is this... what's the speed? Current speed of these? This is already... I already increased the speed of the file by 100%, so this is playing twice as fast. By comparison with the speed at which I played it. Hello Maverick, welcome, good evening. Nice to see you here today. So, there's lots of stuff that I didn't talk about during the first part. It's about small, let's say, small tricks for people that like to world conquest or want to world conquest, and it might be interesting. This, when I was putting all these the files together into 1 hour and 2 hour episodes, I was like, okay, this seems interesting for people that want to world conquest. So trying to say is that apart from the details from the world conquest, there's also, was really weird these guys became. Anyway, there's also lots of stuff that I did that can be useful for anyone trying to world conquest. Trying to remember what I was doing. So I'm still waiting for the course to end. I don't have humanist ideas, not yet. I have a pretty big country that already has some issues with religious unity. Low religious unity gives unrest. amongst other stuff, gives unrest. And as you know, or probably know, if you don't know, I'm gonna say it again, I despise rebels. So, and rebels means, having rebels in the country means that at some point I'll have to send some armies there to kill them. We don't have any rebels, we can focus the armies on actually conquering stuff instead of whack-a-mole. So I usually try to prevent rebellions as much as I possibly can. Like I said in the first video of the series, I'm focusing on India because these are the richest lands. It's trade company region, almost all of it. Almost all of the subcontinent is in a trade company region, which means when I finally move the capital to Europe, it's gonna give me several merchants and lots of force limits. With that, I need to become Hindu, so before I go conquer anything else, I must focus on Hindu provinces. So declared war on Vijay. It's very important that I keep the rhythm, because if I slow down, not only I will lose time, but then I would give time for the people that border me to join the coalition. Because in India, no one can see Aishi, basically. Only the dudes that border Aishi can see it. This was an amazing event. Centralization yields benefits. Early corruption minus 0.1, and especially the local autonomy modifier. I couldn't believe my luck. So for the next 20 or 25 years, I don't recall, it should be around 20 years or something, you'll have minus 0.05 local autonomy reduction. So I'm gonna annex a previous tributary, make that guy a vassal. Cancel some cores for the prestige. This seems to be the second vassal, not really sure. I built a fort there instantly to try to make them spend money in order to keep their liberty, to then pay the loans and keep their liberty desire down. That guy that I'm sieging, that one province minor, Rio something, gonna become a vassal too. If I recall correctly. So at this point, since I don't have humanist ideas, not yet, I'm being a bit conservative with the overextension. Rather, I don't have humanist ideas, I don't have adaptability, I have no ideas, so still have 36 months scoring time. I must be careful. Not get too carried away, or else the entirety of China will explode with massive amounts of rebels. And that would be counterproductive. throughout the campaign, I gave priority to mostly the leaders with I maneuver, so that in order to save money on reinforcements. At this point in the game, the supply limits are still very low. If the army sieging in a low supply region and suffer lots of casualties, and that can cost us lots of money. So if we have, say, mercenaries, a stack of 10 mercenaries sieging with a high maneuver, say 4, 5, 6 maneuver, the army will for sure reinforce the losses to attrition at every month, which means we won't pay for those losses. The reinforcements will be free. If the army slowly but steadily goes below the 10,000, you know, that's gonna cost you money. So maneuver is very, very important. Of course, for that and for moving fast in a campaign like this, I really wanted my armies to move as fast as they could. Sieging was very, very. The forts were, I mean, they slow me down a bit, but at some point it was almost meaningless. But the real constraint, the real, I mean, that had more importance was actually the lack of diplomats. And of course the lack of military. But I'm getting ahead of myself. At this point, the big limitation is the lack of, like I said, military and lack of ideas and national ideas to reduce the coring costs, the coring time and coring costs. That's why I want to fire the Golden Age. It will reduce all power costs by 10%. It will increase the morale of armies by 10%. So having less coring costs means more admin free for other stuff other than coring, like ideas and truce breaks, whatever. And of course tech. I wrote lots of generals to try to grab manpower and better generals with siege. Was lucky and rolled quite a few good generals. When I take land, like I said before, I usually prioritize taking the forts. That's usually one of my priorities. But it all depends. But of course, taking the forts is important, but the most important thing is the strategic situation. So who do I want to border? Who do I want to attack next? And so that's the principle. That's the biggest consideration for me. So next dudes to die are. I don't want to border at this point in time. I don't want to border too many people because in India, like I said, they cannot see Aishi at this point. If they cannot see Aishi, they cannot join a coalition. Even though, for sake of argument, even if they had 1,000 aggressive expansion, because they cannot see me, they cannot join a coalition. If I border them, then the AI will click my province and see my capital. So if I have too many dudes with enough aggressive expansion to join a coalition, with whom I don't have a truce, that can slow me down. So everything must be calculated so that no coalition will form. I'm trying to grab another one province minor as a vassal. Looks like I don't have the dudes with lots of siege, not yet, but I'm gonna roll some. I'm gonna, like I said, make use of the military points to grab manpower and good generals. Especially as the army tradition goes up, the generals will be better. Army tradition goes up very fast due to taking forts in quick succession. I needed the money, that's why I took up. I'm always struggling with lack of money, so extra 20% trading efficiency is important. At this stage of the game. This guy grabbed his second trade, and it was an amazing trade. I was like, now I just need him to be just. That was a -2 unrest in spoilers. He didn't end up grabbing that trait, unfortunately. But these two were super amazing, especially this last one. Both of them were really cool. Being tolerant means higher religious unity and less unrest in the provinces. So what was I thinking here? Right, it's time to increase the loyalty of the tribes. When that happens, I create more states if I do maximum to remove the provinces from the tribes, because it minimizes the loyalty loss. Then I cancel all states, give the provinces, all the provinces that I have available to the tribes. Do what you're seeing, grab money, grab the manpower, a new general. Then I create the states again. I need these states, even though every time I do these, I lost the full core the first time I did this, but like I said before, the hordes, the state from the hordes, the tribes, demands a shit ton of states, of provinces, to the point that in many runs I ended up having to give them basically every single state that I had, which means that the states will have a minimum local autonomy of 50%. So basically, having a full core or just a territorial core, economically speaking, it's basically the same thing under these circumstances. So like this, I have the freedom. By doing this, I have the freedom to culture shift whenever I want, and the hordes, the tribes will never be a nuisance. And believe me, they can be a pretty big pain in the ass if we're not careful. The only place where I don't increase the local autonomy until it's the provinces are at the very least core is in a trade company region. So I let all the rebels spawn, unless we're talking about a 3 development province or something. So I'm scanning for more targets. Especially with in mind, what I have in mind, always had in mind, was to try to find good targets for a double piece, you know? Trying to find a big country with a very weak ally, like a 1 province miner. That's the best part, the best situation, so that I could then do a double piece. I even sometimes made the AI is very predictable, and sometimes I also made how can I say it, arrangements for in order for a double piece to be possible. Well, as you can see, that was scored. Then I increased the local autonomy. Increase the local autonomy and stated it. Since I have local autonomy reduction due to the ruler trait and that event, that won't have many consequences. It's gonna be several decades. Several decades are gonna pass before I can actually move the capital to Europe. It was a gameplay decision. I'll talk about that later. But what I'm trying to say is that when I finally make trade companies in India, the local autonomy will have decreased. It was really good too. It came very early, and I think it's the consort of the people. -2 unrest, which was God sent. -2 unrest lets me take another 40% overextension, so it's not something to. I mean, it's bloody amazing, that event. And I was lucky to grab it. Many times you go like half until the guy is like 50 years or something, until that event pops up. Over here I was really lucky, and I mean, in these runs we need to be lucky too, because the AI is very U4 is very random. If Lady Luck is on our side, she can be very good, or the opposite is also true. Anyway, what matters is this, that from this point on, I'm allowed to take another 40% overextension without the country exploding. Nothing special going on in Tibet, just the war against those one province miners and Cam. All of them annexable. But like I said, the goal is to actually grab another vassal. You see, I have at least 5 vassals. I need another 2. I have one that's how is it called? A march, and it's not showing over there. I revoke the march status. I'll have my 3rd vassal. Not sure I'm gonna do it. I'm probably gonna just grab another guy. It's easy, it's better than to actually suffer a stability hit because of a mistake that I made by making him a march. Last time that I had marches, I also had diplomatic ideas. Diplomatic ideas is so I didn't suffer a stability hit when I cancelled the march. And then guess what? I don't have diplomatic ideas yet. There we go. Raising, amazing. Not only reduces the overextension, also gives us points. Thinking about culture shifting. At least that's what it looks like. I still needed to catch up in Diplotech. I already did, and to have enough tech Diplo to grab tech. I think it was tech 7, because it increases the colonial range, if I recall correctly. And I needed to store some Diplo for exploration ideas, to grab it right before grabbing humanist ideas. And I have the second idea group. On the other hand, I also need to core quickly, so I have to make a compromise. Every time I culture shift, it costs me 100 Diplo points at least, but the majority of the time it's 200. It costs me 200. First time that I culture shift to a certain culture, costs me 200 points. But then I can keep switching between one culture and another. Whenever I do that, the culture is already accepted. I only spend 100 points. So that's not something that I can do lightly. It has to be worth it. Why? Hello. Lyle, why you start with Aishi? I have replied to that question many times. On my YouTube channel there's a video, part 1 of this series, IV Speedrun year 1538, One Tag, part 1, both on YouTube and here on Twitch. There's a video where I explain why I cheat. I suggest you watch it. Lots of good stuff there, if I may say so. Here we go. We'll kick some more ass. I love this kind of opponents. Very easy. That's what we need for record world conquest, or conquest in record time, I mean. Very juicy land. And easy kill. Yes. It did put me at war. I don't think they had allies. Going very fast. I seem to recall they had no allies. But I found weird. I'm sieging some provinces from how they're called, Bahmanis. Occupied probably by these guys that I attacked. Don't remember why they were at war. Oh, I see. Bahmanis probably attacked that small country. That's what's going on. So, because I was beating the crap out of Bahmanis, they managed to siege a couple of provinces. Since I don't want them recruiting more regiments, I'm grabbing those provinces back for Bahmanis. Go, you already have minus 20% core creation cost reduction, minus 20% from a national idea, which is great. And of course, I was misremembering these at the beginning. I already have adaptability. Probably grabbed it at the end of the previous episode. Like I said, this is going fast, and I guess I need to focus on these so that I don't say more nonsense. At this point we have minus 45% core creation cost reduction, which is rather nice. But not good enough. Thanks, Leonard. Thanks for the compliment. And good wishes. But this campaign is already over. You know, it's just I'm not actually playing. This is a recording. I'm just commenting over the recording. Because I don't feel like playing U4 today, so I was like, what the hell am I gonna do today? And here I am commenting this because some people wanted to see me commenting the video that I recorded of the 1538 World Conquest. Like I said at the very beginning, I don't know if I'm gonna do this many times or more times. I just know that today I'm commenting over, doing a voiceover, post commentary, because I feel like it. So the combat width at this point is 22, if I recall correctly. So no point sending more regiments than the combat width. So guess I'm sending more. It's not needed. Unless the combat width at this point is already 25 and I'm misremembering, but I doubt it. Very, very much. But it should be around 22 or 23. Even if there was a 50 stack over there, rebel stack, as long as we fill the combat width, we would be fine. Unless the rebels were stronger or roll extremely well. Then we would reinforce. Yeah, we have our fourth vassal. Looks like I think I'm gonna do a double piece on cam. If I don't do it, I'm being stupid. So we send a peace offer, take some provinces. Without unpausing, we select the rest. We need to play very slowly, or else this won't be possible. There we go. Goodbye Cam and hello She as a vassal, the fourth one. Whenever I have war exhaustion, I usually clear it, because having war exhaustion, as you know, increases the coring cost and coring time. Admin is more precious than Diplo at this point for me. So I'm thinking, what the hell how am I going to fix this? If I cancel this guy as a march, it's gonna cost me 1 stability. On top of that, so I was thinking, what can I do? What should I do? Should I bite the bullet and accept the 1 stability loss, or should I ditch this guy in a peace treaty or something, cancel him as a subject and grab another? I decided to do the late, which was to ditch him as a vassal in a peace treaty. We go, takes 6, getting closer and closer to having cannons. speed up the sieges. So I religiously increased the local autonomy after coring, unless we're talking about some worthless province, like 3 development or something along those lines. That's totally not worth it, the risk of fighting rebels, or the hassle. So the combat weight is now 24, it was 22. If I recall correctly. So I'm enabling the divert trades to try to reduce their income. There we go, grab the theologian, thankfully. Just grabbed a very important edict that I'm gonna make lots and lots of use of it, along with increasing the local autonomy. I'm gonna use it, of course, to reduce the unrest. Combined with increasing the local autonomy, that's a minus 15 unrest. And of course, I transferred the forts to the vassals to make them pay for them. At this point, I was still, like I said in the previous episode, I was still trying. I could still use a vassal with minus 1500 Liberty Desire or something, as a just in case measure for the late game. Just like I'll be grabbing a colony in Australia as part of something, of a strategy, the strategy for the late game. So I was already working on it, or I'm about to start working on it as soon as I grab Tech 7. For the tributaries, if they're big enough to give me monarch points, I always select the monarch points. Be big enough to give me points, they need to have 34 development. Apart from the monarch points, if they're giving me less than 5 or 6 ducats, I always go for the manpower. If they give me more than 5 or 6 ducats, depends. If they give me 6, 7, 8 ducats, for sure I'll take the ducats. If they give me less than that, it's the manpower. At around 6 ducats, one tributary pays for the maintenance of a mercenary regiment. It's totally worth it. Two ducats is laughable, so I take the manpower. Send the fleet to blockade to speed up the siege. Carpet him. Especially because I think he's at war with some other dudes, so the faster we carpet him, the better, or else someone will steal my kill. But I was not seeing their army, so I was like, okay, screw it. I'm gonna take a chance. If they die, they die. I left two regiments on the capital, just in case the AI changed its mind and moved the armies elsewhere. We never know. Sometimes the AI does silly things, or many times the AI does silly things, so they might, for some reason, leave the siege. And I would take over it. That was not very helpful, but we never know. So they control the siege on the capital. Capital is it's their only fort, so it's worth a shit ton of war score. Needless to say, that's gonna slow me down, not taking their capital. So I was not taking any more war score risks and decided to carpet siege them. I'm at war with Delhi, also with Delhi. So it seems. That's where they are. Okay, this is where I give... this is where I get rid of this vassal. This march. Or is it? I was certainly thinking of doing that. But this land is so good that I find it hard to believe that I actually use this guy to get rid of the other vassal. But this was played some time ago, so I'm not 100% sure. And I made several attempts to break the record, my personal record. I get a bit confused. That guy is my vassal. It's was like, this guy is my vassal. Why the hell is outraged? In previous patches they would not be outraged. They would have a very big modifier, opinion modifier against us, but they wouldn't be outraged. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use Delhi for that. Teach some stuff from them. And yeah, I'm probably gonna use Delhi for that. And kill Venad. There we go. After raising, that becomes almost useless, but it still produces spices, and it's in a very good trade node. Not actually useless. And we're almost in Persia. 1465. I still haven't culture shifted. But that's gonna become the norm, not far from now. There's some stuff that I can't core, with the culture, with the same culture or primary culture bonus. There's always, or almost always, provinces that I can't core with that bonus, but the big majority is gonna be, it's always going to be cored as primary culture. With consort of the people and theologian, the dude being tolerant, the +1 stability, right religion, because most of the provinces in China have the right religion. Yes, it let me go above 100. It allowed me to go above 100. Overextension. Without too many problems, and of course making use of the edict, the feudal de jure for emergencies. That's another -5 unrest, which means free 100% overextension. I moved that army by mistake. Thankfully, I've noticed it before actually making too much damage. Maybe I lost the breach walls, I'm not sure. The Timurids are gonna be absolutely wrecked. I was lucky here too, because at this point the Timurids are gonna be wrecked by their vassals. Many of them are gonna demand independence, gonna fight for their independence. Now I just pick them off one after the other. Much better than having to fight the Timurids with a bunch of vassals. As you can see, I'm still using that edict, the feudal de jure. Costs me some money, but screw it. Screw the money. It's worth it. So yeah, the goal for that, I think, is just to piss out Delhi, just to probably cancel their alliances if they have any, and get rid of my march. If I recall correctly, that's what I'm gonna do. I always want to have at least extra 2 regiments, you know, so if you're fighting a dude with, say, 20 regiments and the combat width is 22, you want to have 22. If you're fighting a dude with 10 regiments, you want to have 12, unless you're using a bunch of cavalry. If you're using an all-infantry army like I am doing, you don't need more than extra 2 above the number that your opponent has, because infantry has very little flanking ability, but it's cheap, and above all, I'm already hemorrhaging money, so above all, I want to save money. Of course, whenever that's possible. Sometimes it's simply not possible, and we have to, well, rely on luck with the help of a good general and hope that it works out in the end, but sometimes that doesn't work out very, very well. Can't believe that I'm saying rely on luck. I think this was the first playthrough that I strategized with having a bit of luck in mind. I'm talking about the late game when I go for the dudes in a new world. I had the strategy to deal with them, and it was able to deal with almost anything they could throw my way, with the exception of a single tribe isolated in the middle of nowhere. That would have been a showstopper. But fortunately that didn't happen, so I strategized with having a bit of luck, and if they're isolated, let's hope that there's 2 dudes adjacent to one another in the middle of nowhere. But I digress. Let's focus on these. Priority with regard to when someone sieges my land, if it's not coring, I basically don't give a shit. But if it's a province that I'm still coring, it has absolute top priority to be unsieged or protected, you know, to prevent someone from sieging it. Because I need to get rid of the overextension, like for yesterday. Arkarsus is asking, "Oh, you get Ming so early?" Again, watch the first episode of this series. It's here on my channel, Twitch channel, or on YouTube. 1538 World Conquest Speedrun Part 1. You'll see how I dealt with it. So I'm giving up on a tributary and on that march that I didn't want. This cleared some aggressive expansion, but it's meaningless. I just wanted to get rid of Delhi as an opponent so that I can in order to piss out the other guy as quickly as possible. I will lose Janzuf forever as a tributary, but who cares? I had to eat him anyway. If I was at peace, I could make him a tributary right now, but he's gonna turn hostile, become hostile. The dummy. Hello, Agarleak, thank you. Thanks for the compliment. Nice to see you here. And thanks for the compliment, and it's nice to see you here today. Wasn't this guy my vassal? I thought this guy was my vassal. I'm mixing up the runs, I'm sorry. I thought that made him a vassal, maybe I just ditched him. Anyway, what matters is that I still need some, at least one other vassal, or a couple of them, to fire the Golden Age. Okay, that was the end of this video. I'm gonna open the next part. Comment it. Oops, not you one. Okay, there we go. So, this is the continuation of the world conquest, 1466. Hello, Rose. Welcome. Good evening. And Ains 21. I like the favor system. If that's what you want to know. I like it, Ains. All right. Jampur is a very big country. I already border him. Is willing to join a coalition. I'm about to border the Timurids. So I'm thinking about the best time to attack Jampur and or the Timurids. Because they're pretty strong, they're still pretty strong, and they would totally join the coalition. I only have, say, 60 regiments or something, 27, 47, 55. Yeah, around 70 or so. So, like I said, Jumper is pretty big. There's more dudes besides them willing to join a coalition. Like, for example, the dudes in they're called in Borneo, damn it. Lovely. I can't remember their name. Whatever. The dudes in Indochina, in Indonesia, and in Borneo. There's plenty of Muslims there. I'm sure they're pissed with what I'm doing. Alright guys, you're making, usually I'm more than glad to reply to questions, but this is a very specific run. I'm commenting about my world conquest of 15, the campaign where I conquered the world by 1538. So at this point I'm only accepting questions about this particular run. So Because if I start replying to questions that have nothing to do with this run, I mean, it's counterproductive. So I apologize. In any other situation, I would happily reply about them, but not today. Sorry. So if you have any questions with regard to this run, I'll be happy to what's going on right now in the game. I would be very happy to reply to them. Not about questions about what should I do as country A or country B, that has nothing to do with this. Or DLC A, B or C. Sorry about that. Yep, the headset is running out of power. And I have no cable available to recharge it, so once in a while you hear the beep. I left the other cable in the car. Recharge some stuff that I usually need to recharge when I'm when I'm outside. Okay, that's it for the headsets. No problem. I just simply want to hear the music from EU4. I have a very small cable, but I can't use the headphones while recharging with a very small cable. Was it actually fun for you to do the run like this? Yes, it was. It was very fun when I was not fighting rebels. U4 is very fun when I'm not fighting rebels. It was very demanding. Extremely demanding, but extremely fun too. Hello, hello, Aljun. Welcome. Question about this run: could have been faster? Yes, certainly. Like I said previously, I could have improved the time. By at the very least 5 years. I made many mistakes at the end of the game, near the end of the game. Like making a pistol when I shouldn't have done that, and end up with like extra 30-40% overextension that I couldn't core. And I didn't do that throughout the rest of the game, only at the very near the end, and some mistakes with the tribes in North America. I was like, I just fucked up my time because of I screwed it. Like I said, I could have ended these 5 years earlier, around that. Especially because I was, I realized I was lucky during this campaign. My first ruler and, for example, now the Timurids are stuck in an independence war, fighting an independence war. Trying to prevent, the Timurids are trying to prevent the vassals from breaking free. That's an amazing situation for me. So like I said before, the opponent has only 12 regiments, I'm engaging him with 14. That's more than enough. If for example, I roll extremely poorly, then the regiments, then I would reinforce reinforce with more regiments. That's more or less what I'm doing here. Hello again, Aldun. Nice to see you here. How's James? Hopefully everything's okay. Over there, I'm whenever we press the button for the infantry, for the garrison to siege, to sortie out of the fort, that sometimes is free manpower, so that's why I did that. Probably that's one of the reasons why I did that. So there you go, free manpower. Just merge them at the end of the battle and I gained 2 free regiments, or what was left of them. James is good to be difficult sometimes. He's at a difficult age. 2.5 years. Yeah. Alright, we're about to finish the war with Baluchistan. I now have a border with Afghanistan. I'm probably gonna declare on them in the very near future. I don't think I will declare on them actually until I have a land path to Persia. That shouldn't take very long. So it looks like I'm gonna attack Jampur or Malwa. With Malwa I should have a truce with them, so I doubt very much it's Malwa, so it's probably gonna be Jampur. I'm at peace for first time in quite some time. I'm taking advantage of that to make some tributaries. Especially Muslims in the Middle East. There's someone in the Middle East that wants to become a tributary. I'll accept it. So as you can see, I have one stack dedicated to kill rebels. At this point in time, that single stack is a big part of my army, actually. But I'm gonna keep that single stack for quite some time. Even when I grow, become bigger, it's gonna be one stack, and eventually, later, much later, I'll have 2 stacks, but that single stack is responsible to fight all the rebels. What's your religion and where is your capital? Asks Aldun. At this point, my religion is Confucianist still. I'm doing my best to conquer India to become Hindu. But I'm still far from that. And my capital is still in the province, original province where Aichi has the capital, so don't recall the name of the province at this point, I'm sorry. But it's in Manchuria. But you have to move to culture shift. Nope. It used to be that way, like that. It used to be that way. Culture shift. We had to move to we had to move the capital, but not any longer. At this point, the only thing that we need to culture shift, or to accept a culture, and then after we accept the culture to where we want to shift, that culture has to have at least 51% of the state, the development, the state development, no, per country, fragmented, so fragmented that no single culture has 51% of the development. You cannot culture shift. I kept checking up because I needed Tech 7, Diplo Tech 7, and I need the money from extra 20% trade efficiency provided by being ahead of time in Diplo Tech. There we go, grab the tech, trade efficiency dudes. For here I'm probably just gonna increase the local. Oh no, I actually waited for this to be corned. Nice. As you can see, like I said before, I increased the local autonomy and enabled the feudal de jure edict to get rid of the rebels. Still trying to improve my standing with this guy, or tried to. I'm not sure what was my reasoning. Probably I was fearing that I had too many dudes willing to join a coalition. They had so few development, so little development that land is almost worthless. More little, small, very small tributaries. Very good, because you'll give me... I mean, the best tributaries are the ones that are big, because those can give us monarch points. But very small tributaries are also very useful, because every month, every year they give us 300 manpower. We have 12, that's an extra... We have 12 of them, that's an extra 300 manpower per month. Even that at this point I'm gaining, I don't know, 300 per month or something manpower without tributaries, or 200 and something, 500 at the most, I'm not sure, and something along those lines. It's easy to see that it can easily double our manpower regeneration, double or triple, or even more than that. But as I get bigger with more armies, I'll be able to win more wars in the many more wars at the same. I mean, so let's, for the sake of argument, that I'm winning 1 war per year. So as I get bigger, military increases in the same amount of time. I'll be able to win 4 or 5 wars or something. So that means more monarch points, more military points, which can be turned into manpower through the making use of the army professionalism mechanics by rolling generals. Every general gives us 1 army professionalism, 5 army professionalism for professionalism, and be traded in for manpower. Yep, it's very inconvenient when we don't want people to see the capital, Aldion, in fact. Okay, we're fighting Jampur through like Malwa. Did I break truce against? It's weird. Who was it? Jampur through Malwa. It's weird. Yeah, okay, Jampur was guaranteeing Malwa, so I probably just... The truce ended with Malwa or something. Or I broke truce. I was paying attention to the chat. Sorry about that. So this means that I'm gonna do a double... most likely I'm gonna do a double piece on Jampur. Looks that way. I didn't make them a co-belligerent to prevent the Timurids from joining this war. So to make it easier for me. I seem to recall that the truce ended with Malwa. I may be wrong. The horde units at this point are quite strong, and conveniently Jampur has lots of provinces with grasslands. So combined with a good general means that AI is afraid to engage. 10 stacks combined with a good general, the AI simply doesn't engage. Because hordes have a plus 25% bonus on flatlands, on steppes, grasslands, that kind of terrain. This is a superiority war goal. I want to engage their armies to gain war score. Lots of it. Can go up to 40 plus 25 from achieving the war goal. So that's 65% war score from battles, only from, you know, just for battling, for fighting battles. We can gain up to 65% war score, which is fantastic. And really helps and the wipe hard units in planes together with the good general, combined with the good general and good rolls, are simply devastating. The other day I was playing as Manchu and was fighting Ming. Every single one of the stocks that the Ming sent to fight me, they ended up stock wiped after 2 or 3 days. But the units, I had banners. Right now I don't have a single banner. That's because I intended on culture shifting, so I recruit banners, gain corruption. If I don't intend on keeping them, I won't be allowed to keep them. As soon as the moment I culture shift, I lose the banners. So as you can see, I try to carpet siege as soon as possible, especially after killing. Well, I always try to carpet siege as soon as possible, but if I kill their armies, carpet sieging, it's even more important because it prevents them from recruiting more. Any ideas for the next run? Nope, Aldion. I have no ideas for the next run. I'm accepting suggestions. Totally accepting suggestions. Okay, nothing's going on, so I decided to speed this up by 50%. Oh, this is going faster. It's always the same thing, you know. Occupy forts. If I spot something useful, I mean different, worth commenting on, I'll talk about it. Again, I'm transferring the forts to the vassals to farm liberty desire reduction. The vassals will have to take loans, and I'll be able to reduce their liberty desire by repaying their loans. Like, I didn't like the air, so goodbye air. Another thing that the tributaries are good for is to give us prestige. So it gives us lots of flexibility with regard to disinheriting really bad heirs and still keep maximum prestige or close to maximum prestige. If it wasn't for the zombies, I could be fighting more wars at this point, but there are zombies in this game, so it is what it is. Like 30% of my force limit is tied up with stacks for fighting zombies. The stack for fighting zombies. It's not really 30%, but it's pretty close. The stack from Jumbur went for the forts, which obviously lets me siege them up. Because I probably have a tech advantage. I'm not sure. I might. On top of everything else, I probably also have a tech advantage, which increases my siege ability when I'm sieging their lands. Many times I had that advantage over my opponents. At least until I reached Tech 9, which was the maximum extent of my military technology. It was Tech 9. Never teched beyond Tech 9. Even though I at some point fought dudes with Tech 10. Probably Tech 11, but I'm not sure. Tech 11, I'm not sure. Probably possible. Reason why I didn't tech up above Tech 9, it's because, well, Tech 9 gives us a better infantry and it's a tactics techs, so I had to take it. Because every single tech above Tech 8 reduces the raising efficiency, so less points from raising. I just fucked up there. And the next pretty big tech, it's Tech 12, so this was all over for Tech 12. As usual, I'm always looking for ways to do double peace. I'm enabling the edict there to increase the time needed for the siege ticks. So that the fort could hold some a little bit more. There we go, that has fallen. And it's all over. 100% occupied. Ottomans grabbed the Golden Age. I still don't have the Golden Age, which sucks. They still have a stock. That's why they don't want to be sound. I don't have 100% over them. Not yet. I wonder why. Okay. Quickly assemble the stock here to eradicate that army. Gain the extra force limits. So here we go. Now they want to be sound. So yeah, I'm gonna do double peace. Take those provinces, then I take some more stuff. Thanks to Malwa. And Floriwari, that was the one that discovered these, as far as I know. Very useful. You see, the lack of diplomats already slowing me down, so I could declare another war, but I can't because, you know, I don't have a diplomat. That happened several times during this campaign. Way too many times. Another thing that slowed me down was the one declaration of war per 30 days limit. Maybe I'm still gonna make some tributaries before declaring war. Let's check. Nope. Don't beat up. Malware. And grab my land path to Persia. And war against Orissa. Finish off Orissa. And Yarkand. The Timurids are being wrecked. They're gonna be... That was so beautiful to watch. They're gonna be wrecked by everyone and their mothers. You just watch. It was beautiful. Because the Timurids are a pretty big pain in the ass to deal with. because of the all those mountains. Yeah, and one dude joined the coalition. There's more trying to delay it by, you know, spending some money, influencing, repaying debts, and so on. Try to delay till I have more troops, till I have a bigger standing army. And I can reach some of the guys that are pissed with me, like the dude in Borneo and Indonesia, Brunei and Siak, and there's more. Right, seems like the looks like I want a culture shift, or I'm thinking ahead. You know, the reason why I've raised the development in my own capital is because that's gonna make it easier for me to culture shift later down the road. This was not yet my first culture shift. Maybe because I'm still not moving fast enough. I'm being conditioned by the military, and when I see the dudes stacking up, waiting to be cored, then yeah, that's when one needs to culture shift, or else you're screwed. But since I don't have many countries to core right now, there's not really much need for culture shifting. That's what's going on. But that's gonna change really quickly, really soon. Cup of water. So basically nothing is going on. Just trying to win this war. These wars, I mean, this war, there's same war, multiple opponents. That guy is being protected by the fort. Trying to form another 10 stack there, just to keep things organized. And the force limit is steadily going up. We had like 90 force limit just minutes ago. It's up to 102. Okay, He's going to... It's going to... I'm not sure. They were my tributaries, so they're probably gonna die. They're gonna be killed. The assault failed. Marco, what exploits apart from cheese fart zone of control and turn into Aishi did you use in this run? I mean, I used the double piece. I'm trying to maximize it by leaving one province miners alive for the sake of being guaranteed by someone big. Apart from that, I mean, it's what I said in the first episode of this series, and basically I didn't use it was just, like you said, clever use of game mechanics. I dare to say it. Timing, patience, decent army management, resource management. This wasn't a very exploitive run by comparison with, for example, the run with the Kyoto exploit. But I did use the double piece, for example, which was important to help me eradicate the bigger blobs. There we go. We'll be able to occupy that province from where they've recruited more regiments and where their army found some temporary safe haven. Trying to kill as many of them as possible didn't work. Anyway, we achieved the stack wipe of their main stack, so lots of whack-a-mole. Okay, I'm preparing to go eat the oirats. Again, doing with the double piece in mind. By declaring on that small country, Caradel, I'll be able to bypass the oirats allies. And in the end, most likely annex the oirats, or come very close to annexing them. I would say that I will annex them, I think. If my memory serves. If I recall correctly, I will annex the oirats in one war. But I'm not sure. They may end up as a one province miner or something. the Oirat was my tributary, but I decided to attack them at this point because I need a path to the dudes up to the all the way to Crimea. They need to be killed. I need to grab truces with them because they're, as you've seen, they're willing to join a coalition. So I need to grab a border with them and go either kill them, next them, or take stuff from them and grab a truce. If I delay it too much, I may end up with a massive coalition, and that would definitely slow me down. That's the reasoning for attacking the Oirat at this point. Hello, Inside Toast, welcome. Inside Toast said, I was inspired to buy Rome Total War and try it out today. I won't pretend I know what I'm doing, but that's a very fun game, Inside Toast. Did you see the end of? Yeah, you saw it. You were there. That bridge battle, that was simply way too much fun. That's a very fun game. At least until you understand the game so well that it becomes so easy that you end up being bored. There's lots of replayability in that game too, so it's gonna take a very long time until you become bored with it, I would say. So I'm probably gonna attack PJ, but I'm not sure because I have a truce with him. Truces usually don't stop me, but yeah, I'm not gonna attack him, not yet. I'm trying to prevent that guy from murdering that regiment over there. Small regiment. That one regiment. Give him some time to not die, you know? And the other dude, allow the other dude to siege the provinces from Mongolia. That might backfire on me because Mongolia is bringing more regiments. You see another stability hit, second comment in, I don't know, 20 years, less than 20 years, second comment. And it's gonna be, I'm gonna have more. So if I was safe scumming, you would probably not be seeing that. Just saying. Okay, that's the end of another video. This is in a loop. And the end of a stream. So I'd like to thank the 20 people that kept me company during these 2 hours. Thanks for keeping me company, and I'll see you guys most likely tomorrow. If I still feel like talking to myself, basically, I will stream a little bit more. So, thanks all June, Assigned Toasts, Hunger Leak, and yeah, see you guys tomorrow.